Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
All right. With that, we have a number of live trade sessions. One of the things that makes our program terrific is that not only do we teach you, but we go online every day. Want to remember, twice a day. We do trades in the morning. We do trades in the evening. All of the people that do the live trades are very, very good traders. Each of them have their own signals that they like to trade. So if you're a light member, you have access to these meetings on top. If you are a regular member, you have access to these meetings on the bottom. And then there's also some additional paid meetings. So we will be doing this again tomorrow morning at 6:30. a.m. Eastern time, and then at 9:30 there's an intro to coaching session. With that, I like to trade off of a trade routine. Helps me stay focused. First thing I like to do is check that my green charts and MetaTrader 4 are connected and live. I've done that before you have come online. Second habit, at the end of every day, I do like to review what the trades I made, and specifically the trades that didn't go as I had planned, and do a little, we get better by correction. So by taking a look at what didn't go right, that allows us to make those corrections and review our analysis. Last week, the trades that we took 3 trades. On one day, I think on Thursday, we didn't even find a trade, but all the trades closed profitably. But our goal here is to do an analysis on the trades that didn't go well. I recommend that you take a screenshot right after you've taken the trade of the screen. And then if the trade doesn't go right and you can't figure out why, to share it with your coach or me, and we'll go over it and figure out what you were looking at and confirm what we thought it should have done. We are technical traders. What that means is that our indicators are very, very good at picking up price action movement and where there's turns in the market. With that, there's also news that affects the currency market. So we want to know what that news is and be able to trade around it. And one of the best places to get that news is a place called Forex Factory. Forex Factory breaks news down into 3 categories: yellow, which is low impact; orange, which is medium impact; and red, which is high impact. And we see that tonight at 9:30 our time, or my time, Australian is going to release some monetary policy minutes, and those policy minutes will may have an impact on the market. Because we don't want to predict and can't predict how the news is going to impact what's going on, our strategy is just not to trade that pair if we know news is coming up. I typically like to get out of it a couple hours beforehand, so I am not holding it. Usually most of my trades, except for that evening one that I send out, I expect to close within 1 to 3 hours. I'm trading off of a 1-hour chart, And typically on a 1 hour chart, the move will happen within 1 to 3 hours. So we are at 6:30. We've got something at 9:30. One of the pairs that we do trade on this evening trade is the Australian dollar, and that is because it is morning time in Australia, or coming up to morning time. So we want to trade where the indicators work better when the market is active. So we're going to have to kind of give consideration as to whether we think we can be out of the trade within an hour or not. And then everything else is smooth sailing for the rest of tonight and pretty much all of tomorrow. So that being said, we will go to our charts. This is a chart that you have in your green chart, the light 6 major. I've actually created 4 different of these charts. I like to call it the composite chart. The reason I call it a composite chart is it's showing us 6 different currency pairs, all on a 1 hour candle. The 6 different currency pairs allow me to quickly scan the various pairs to look for the setup on the signal that I like. And the 2 signals that we're going to use today are something called the 10-point trade. And then toward the top of the hour, we are going to look for something called the thick orange line trade. And again, these are 2 of many, many signals. They're 2 that I prefer. When we are training you, you will find signals that you prefer. So on this trade, the 10-point trade, I start with the middle piece of the chart, which is called the majors and minors. The red and green lines are the major lines. The black and gray are the minor lines. This blue horizontal line is what we call the overbought line. The red horizontal line is the oversold line. And basically, the market oscillates. It goes up a little bit, it goes down a little bit. And when the market gets a little bit overbought, that is a good time to sell. Likewise, when the market gets a little bit oversold and the lines are down below the red line, that is a good time to buy. But again, we're looking for high accuracy, so we want to try to get more precise on our timing as we take the trade. And we do that by looking for situations when we're overbought, that is, the lines are above the blue line. I want the lines pointing down versus pointing up. Because when they are pointing down, the likelihood is they're going to move all the way through the channel, and I'll be able to get a little bit of a run out of it. When we are overbought and pointing up, I don't know how much more of an up move there is left in the market. So because it's harder to judge how much up is left, I don't want to take a chance on that trade. So here, Australian US dollar, we're overbought going up. We're going to pass. US dollar, Euro US dollar, we're going to pass because it's evening time. It's in the middle of the night, almost midnight in Europe. Pound, almost midnight, we're going to pass. Here it's after hours on US Canadian, US Swiss franc. It is very late in the evening. US yen, it is coming up to morning there, so we can take a look at this. Majors were overbought. Minors are starting to turn. They're starting to come down. They're really more sideways. Majors are still going up. I want everybody turned and pointing down, so we've got nothing here. So we will go on to our next pair of 6. This chart is primarily non-US based. Euro, pound, the timing isn't right. Australian dollar, pound, these are both going to be active. We are overbought and going up, so nothing there will pass. Euro Canadian will pass. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, these are both entering morning time. Overbought, all the lines are going up. Now we could have gotten, it's not to say that you cannot get a trade, but here you got 23 pips when it was overbought, moving up. 23 pips is a nice move. But again, to my preference, I don't like to take it. I like to take, I'm willing to take less pips on more of a sure thing. And more of the sure thing is when we're overbought and going down or oversold and going up. Pound yen, overbought going up, so nothing there. Euro Australian dollar, oversold going down, so nothing there. So now I've got another 6. Now to get these other 6 charts, basically what I do is I just take that initial chart and clone it. And then when you clone it, then I just give it a new name and change the pairs. So Canadian dollar, yen. So it's morning time, and we need to have one of them be morning. So the yen is morning, but we're overbought going up. Euro New Zealand overbought going up. Pound New Zealand dollar overbought going up. New Zealand dollar yen oversold. Minors are still kind of or majors are still in the channel, but it's going down. Gold overbought. Minors are coming down, majors aren't. And Bitcoin, we're in the middle of the channel. Minors are overbought, kind of going sideways. So nothing there. Let's go to the next pair. Australian Canadian dollar, overbought. Majors are overbought. Minors are in the channel. This little duck bill here tends to indicate there's going to be still more of a push up. But again, we want everybody pointed down. Swiss franc yen, we've got conflicting signals here, so we're going to just pass. Minors are coming down, majors are going up. When there are differences in the signals, we're going to pay more attention to what the majors are doing than the minors. Euro yen, overbought going up. Pound Australian dollar, oversold going down. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, oversold going down. And then Canadian Swiss franc, we're not going to trade that. So we just gone through 24 charts in the matter of 10 minutes, and we did not find a single trade. That's okay. We're going to pick and choose our spots. That's why I use the second signal. The second signal is what I call the thick orange line trade. Thick orange line trade. Now, this is an entirely different signal, whereas the 10-point trade, I need to do a little bit more of an analysis once I see the signal to determine how much the trade is worth and if I want to take it. On this thick orange line trade, it's a more simple trade. There's not much analysis that has to go into it. You just look for the conditions. If the conditions are there, it's a good trade. And the condition is, what's this thick orange line doing? So we're going to start with the TNTs, and this number up here on the right is the number that's associated with the thick orange line, and that number is a scaled number. It goes from 0 to 10. When it is at 0, what the number is telling us is it doesn't believe there's any more down in the movement, that the down movement's petered out. If the down movement's petered up, that's a good time for a buy. Likewise, when it is at 10, it is telling us that the up movement is petered out, that there's no more room left in the up movement. So if that is the case, then we want, if there's no more up in the movement, that's a good sell time. But again, the issue is our consistency. How do we get that high? To be a good trader, you need to have a high consistency. I know people who trade with a 60% and win. I'm at 80%, and I know a bunch of traders that trade close to 90. So there's room for improvement. Nobody trades at 100%. Absolutely impossible. If anybody tells you they do, they're lying. So what we want to do is, how can we increase the accuracy of this trade? And the way we increase the accuracy of the trade is we look for confirmation, and we get that confirmation from looking at what the majors and minors are doing. So if this is at 10 telling us it's overbought, I want to see all 4 of these lines well above the blue line. So if I have condition 1 and condition 2, I've got a good trade. Now this trade is also is very time specific. So we want to take it when it is right at the top of the hour. And I used to take it when there was less than 10 minutes left in the hour. And I've adjusted that now to I want to take it when there's probably less than 5 minutes left in the hour. And what's going to happen is, because both of those are stretched kind of to the limit, there's going to be a little snap at the top of the hour. And we want to catch that little snap at the top of the hour. That snap is good for 5 pips. So let's go through and see if we see anything. So right now we're at 5.2 on the Australian USD. We're not going to take a Euro USD, but it's 4.8, 6.2, 4.6, 10. All right, so we've got 10 on the USD CHF, and it's been at 10 for 2 hours. See the line's flat. All the lines are pretty well above, so we have the signal. We have the signal, but we're not going to take the trade. We're not going to take the trade because it is not morning time in either of these markets. U.S. market, all the traders are out having drinks or at the bar or at home with their family. And in Switzerland, they're asleep probably now. So there's no movement. We have to have some movement, some action for this trade to be good. So one is knowing the signal and then knowing when to be able to apply the signal. USD JPY, 9.5. So I told you it needs to be 0 or 10. Really can be within 1 point of 0 or 10. So we can go from 0 to 1, or we can go from 9 to 10. So we've got that here. We've got that here. And we have the lines overbought. So this is a potential trade. The one thing I don't like about it, and I want to look at them all before we decide to take it. We get 9 minutes here before the top of the hour. Is I would like to see this red line a little bit higher. I would like to see this red line a little bit higher. But let's see what else we have, and we'll come back to it. I've written it down. That's a potential trade. Euro pound, we're going to skip. Australian dollar yen, 7, not close enough. 3.4, not close enough. Australian New Zealand dollar, we've got a 10. And now these lines are nice and high. I like this. So we've got a trade here. Let's see what else we have. Only thing I don't like about it is we've got that news item coming up. That news item is 2.5 hours away. This trade should close within 2.5 hours. We're only looking for 5 pips. And you know what I'm kind of guessing is just by seeing the big move that we've had here, because this is, what did we say it was? Just this part was 20. Let's just see what it is again. In the last 2 hours, we've had a 40 pip move. I'm guessing this is kind of a pre-release on the news. Like the news is out there and people are trading on it. That's why you got this big move. But I like this. Let's see what else we have, and we'll come back to it. 9.9, a pound yen. Pound yen, 9.9. I don't like this. The red line isn't enough. So we're close enough, but this isn't pushed up enough for me. Plus we have that USD JPY. So I'd rather take that than this, because USD JPY, this line is a little bit higher than this line. 4.6, no, nothing. 10, yes, but the majors haven't, the red line of the major hasn't crossed the blue line. So these lines, the majors aren't high enough for me to like this. European New Zealand dollar. European New Zealand dollar. We've got the 10, and we got the lines pretty well above. So that is another possibility. What I am going to most likely do is pick two of them, and I'm going to try to pick two that give us the best chance and give us different pair matchings. So we already had the Australian New Zealand dollar, so we would be doubling up on the New Zealand dollar if we took this trade. So I'm going to look for two separate trades. Again, pound New Zealand dollar, 9.8, and the lines are well above. In fact, this one's probably a little bit better than the European New Zealand dollar. The pound New Zealand dollar, the red line's a little bit higher. So we've got several choices here. I'm just writing it down, keeping an eye on the clock. 1.1, which is, we're outside of the range, plus we don't have the majors and minors. Gold, no. Bitcoin, no. Let's check the last grouping here. 5 isn't close enough. Swiss franc, yen, 10. Lines are in the middle of the channel, plus we've got the conflict here, so we're going to skip that guy. 10 on euro yen. Lines aren't quite there yet on the majors and minors, so we'll pass. Pound Australian dollar, 4.6 isn't close enough. A New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, we're over 1, and Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, we are over 1. So let's go back and just take a look. USD JPY, 9.5. All right, so we're going to take two. We're going to take the USD JPY, and we're going to take the Australian dollar. We're going to take the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Let's take the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar first. We got 3 minutes left. So I'm going to open up my MetaTrader 4. I'm going to see if I've got Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar open. I don't. To open it, I'm going to go to File, New Chart, and I'm going to look for it. I'm going to scan through the list. I don't see it in the top list. I don't see it in the middle list. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Where are you? Australian dollar, New Zealand. Oh, there he is. I am going to then go to the second row here and click New Order. And oh my goodness, what is it that we don't like here? We got almost a two pip spread. We're still going to take it with a 2-pip spread. I'm going to check my symbol. My symbol is correct. In this account, there's 10,900. So I am going to I'm going to move the decimal place over 4. So that's going to be a 1.09. So I'm just going to take a 1.1 as a lot size. It's going to be a market execution. I'm not going to worry about my stop loss and take profit at this point. I just want to get the trade in. And I am also going to get the other trade in because we've got, we have a couple minutes left, and I want to get both trades in, and then I'll go and I'll modify them. So the other trade was USD JPY. We're losing a little bit here, but we're going to still take it. USD JPY. USD, I don't have it open. So again, file, new chart. USD JPY is right on the top here. I'm going to go to new order. My volume is going to be the same, 1.1. I can have two 1.1 trades going at the same time and keep my margin level here above 1,000% or around 1,000%. And this is a, what was this? I've got it as a sell. Let me just double check here. USD JPY. We've got it as a sell. All right, we're going to go ahead and take it as a sell. Now what I want to do is I am going to right click anywhere along the record here, and it highlights it in blue. When I right click, it brings up modify, and I am going to put in 50 points. 50 points equals 5 pips. Click the little blue button, and it does the math for me. And on this, because we know this trade is right approximately 90% of the time, we're going to use a 4-to-1 stop loss. So if we win 9 trades at 5 is 45, and we lose one at 20, we're ahead 25 pips. So it's a numbers game. So 20 pips equals 200 points. I click the little red button. It does the calculation. And the only other thing I like to do is I like to make sure I get the full 5 pips. So I'm going to look in at the exact number I got in at. I got in at 1.0351. So I want to go to 1.0346. So I'm going to adjust this because I want my full 5 pips, 465. And we can see our stop loss and take profit. Now I'm going to do this on the other one. Right click, go to modify, and I'll read the numbers off to you in a second. It remembers what I did last time. So copy as, and I just want to make sure I get the full 5 pips. So if I'm at 42, I need to go to 37. So 372. Oops. 372. Modify. All right. So on the Australian dollar, we just jumped over. I'm going to read them to you in just 1 second, but just to tell you the one other thing that some people like to do is when the hour changes, they like to see if this number jumps, and it needs to jump by at least 1. It was at 9 something. It's jumped to 6. So that means it's a good trade. And NZD, it was at 9 something. It also jumped to 6.7. So we should get both of these trades within the next hour. To recap, we took one sell on the AUD NZD, a sell on the AUD NCD with a take profit of 1.03465. That's 1.03465, and a stop loss of 1.03737. We also took another sell using the thick orange line trade with a take profit of 109.372. Take profit of 109.372. Stop loss of 109.616. 109.616. And let us see if we've got any questions. And we do. The AUD just made a huge move up. But again, we believe we're going to get that little snap. And as I said, I think this move is probably because of the news that's coming up in a couple hours. There's some sort of pre-release, and it came out early, so there will be some pullback on that, I'm guessing. All right, gang. We made 2 trades using the thick orange line signal. We are here to help you become extraordinarily successful currency traders. Our indicators are very accurate. You will see that as you continue to use them. And we will give you the training, encouragement, and information you need to do well. If you would like to register to the trial, go to forexsmarttrade.com/register. We will see you tomorrow morning at 6:30, bright and early. Have your cup of coffee ready, and we'll take a couple more trades. All right, gang. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow.